Good evening, friends. We're back again, reading passages from Inner Work of Adat Hashem, the teachings of Rav Ashlag. We're on page 95. Olam Hazeh, this world, is a person's present spiritual state. Olam Haba, the world to come, is the spiritual state to come, meaning the next spiritual level to attain. Right? So as we've talked a lot about Olam Hazeh, we've talked about the Galut paradigm, which is Olam Hazeh, this present world, and Olam Haba as the world to come, and in more mainstream Judaism, Olam Hazeh is this world, the world of Galut, and Olam Haba is the world to come, the world of Geulah, after the redemption, the final redemption. But the Rav is saying here that really these two concepts, Olam Hazeh and Olam Haba, really they represent a spiritual state. That Olam Hazeh represents the spiritual state we're currently in, and Olam Haba represents a spiritual state to come, the next spiritual level that we are able to attain, the next level on the ladder that we're climbing towards awakening. A small illumination from the next spiritual level is always shining in us. The purpose is to draw us forward. So one of my other teachers talks about your ceiling, your spiritual ceiling. It's the level to which you're able to embody your soul's consciousness. And it has a ceiling, right? It has a limit at this current level. That's your Olam Hazeh, the limit. Your Olam Haba is what's just above that ceiling. And so your ceiling has actually holes in it. And so the light from the next spiritual level is shining through those holes, and it's drawing you forward. It's drawing us forward to that next spiritual level. So if you take a moment to just feel into your own capacity spiritually at this moment, and then just imagine that next level of consciousness sort of beckoning you forward. Feeling it calling to you, drawing you towards it. That's your Olam Haba, pulling you towards your next spiritual level. I was blessed to be a student of the Rebbe Zatzal for 14 years, and I never once heard him mention anything about the afterlife. The reason is that people who are yearning to attach to God, who are striving to work on themselves and striving for inner transformation, are not concerned about what will happen after they die. For these people, what is important is what is happening right now. Right? So there's so much in the religious world talking about the afterlife, and this world is all about, how you act here will indicate what will happen to you in the afterlife. And there's a lot of focus on living for the next world, living for the afterlife. And the Rav is saying that the Rebbe never once mentioned anything about the afterlife, because people who are really dedicated to the spiritual path of healing and awakening are not concerned with what's going to happen after they die. They're really concerned, what's most important to them is what is happening right now, in this moment, this life. The Bala Sulam set a spiritual principle. Live with the perspective that there are only two realities in the world. One, the self who receives. Two, the creator who gives. The Creator is clothed in many different garments, including minerals, plants, animals, and humans. According to this principle, we need to see all the people around us as divine. So Rav Ashlag, he set a principle to live with the perspective that there are only two realities. The self who receives, which is all of creation, really everything in creation has a desire to receive. And then the Creator who gives, the Creator who is full and has no desire to receive and is all giving, always. And then he goes on to say that the Creator is clothed in many different garments, including minerals, plants, animals, and humans. Those are the four levels of receiving. The sort of evolution of receiving goes from minerals, vegetable, animal to human. And in each category of that evolution, the desire to receive increases. It's a longer conversation, but we'll leave it at that for now. So according to this principle, we need to see all people around us as divine, right? Just keep on coming back to that main core concept that all humans and all creation are divine. All creation has the Creator clothed within them. There is divine energy flowing through all of creation. And we're here to recognize that, to awaken to that, and to be that, right? To not live as a separate self-consciousness, but to come into a unity consciousness, recognizing the divinity within all of existence. As we've been saying, and we'll just keep coming back to it, that our true self and our true nature is that of the divine, and we were truly born not with the birth of this body, with the birth of creation. And the more we can identify as creation, as a life, the closer we get to feeling connected to the divine, the source of creation. We are creation, and there's the source of creation. So we go far, 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 far back, as far as we can possibly go, to the beginning of creation. And there we're birthed from the Creator itself. That is our parent. That's the womb from which we came forth into creation. And now we are creation, aware of itself as creation. It's pretty amazing. Creation, speaking, creation, relating to creation, creation aware of itself as creation, creation living as creation. You could do the same thing with life. Life aware of itself as life, speaking as life. It's pretty powerful concept. Instead of thinking of my ego or my identity speaking, I feel myself speaking as creation. When I go out in the night sky and I hold my hands up in the sky to the stars, to the heavens, I feel myself as creation reaching back towards the source of creation, reaching back to the cosmos, to my true birthplace, right? Another common concept is that we are stardust, because a star exploded that created the earth, and we come from the earth. We are products of the earth, birthed from the earth itself. So really, in a way, our one of our parents is a star. So we are stardust, aware of itself as stardust. Just imagine walking through the world with that consciousness, greeting other stardust, other life, other creation from this consciousness, and finding that natural love that shines forth to ourselves as creation and to others as creation. Just think of the revolution in consciousness, the revolution in culture that would take place if more of us started to embody that in a true and powerful way. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm talking to myself too. A spiritual teacher can pass thoughts and feelings to a spiritual student telepathically. Right, so just a very straightforward passage. A spiritual teacher can pass thoughts and feelings to a spiritual student telepathically. So there you have it. Judaism, Kabbalah believes in telepathy. It's possible to transmit thoughts and feelings from a spiritual teacher to a spiritual student who is open and available to receive those transmissions. And our final passage for tonight. In our rectified state, we are in divine service at every moment. We are in divine service at every moment in our rectified state. That is because once we come into unity consciousness, we embody the purpose of creation. We are that. We are then living as the purpose of creation. And as that, being the divine, we are directly in service to the divine. That is divine service. Being the divine is divine service, right? It doesn't have to be fancy. You don't need to go out and, give money to the poor or write a book or make a movie or save the planet, do Greenpeace or anything. You don't need to do anything but be the divine. And as being the divine, you are in divine service. Because that is the purpose of creation, for us to recognize ourselves as the divine, to be that revelation. And as being that revelation, we bring that revelation to humanity. And that is a direct divine service. Bringing God's revelation to the earth is part of our purpose. And so when we do that, when we be that, we are in divine service. Okay, friends, I hope you have a wonderful night, and we shall see you tomorrow.